Hi, I'm making this video basically because I need to start a conversation. You're going to see me looking down, it's just my notebook. I apologize for not making eye contact. But like I said, a conversation needs to start. I've been following the news almost obsessively since COVID-19 made its way to North America, and it's become quite clear that transparency and effective communication is necessary for understanding. And understanding is necessary for change. I need the world to understand the inequalities I face so we can fix them for my kids, for our kids. Part of parenting, of course, is protecting your kids from known evils, from your personal pains. However, the hardest hitting and longest lasting pains in my life are in regards to the inequalities I felt for being a woman. Inequality towards women is a global pandemic of its own. There has never been a woman ever in history, ever, that has not been subjected to some form of sexual abuse, sexual inequality, in one form or another. Equality is a luxury we don't have. None of us around the world and in our communities. I live in Canada, a country I am so proud to say is ranked number one for 4 consecutive years for best quality of life. And yet our society still is littered so vastly and so deeply with these inequalities because of standards and societal norms currently in place that suppress the will and the voice of women. Our lives are not equal to the lives of men, even in Canada. If I can't find sexual equality in Canada, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find it anywhere. Rape and sexual assault is something, even as a Canadian woman, it is a real life fear that I always have to keep in the back of my mind for my own safety. I have to be afraid of and cautious towards men to a certain extent to keep me safe. Society has taught me all my life that if I'm not careful and vigilant, then I run the risk of putting myself in harm's way at the hands of a vicious predator. What's been taught is that my actions determine whether or not I become a victim of sexual assault. She asked for it. We've all heard that. She asked for it. It was her fault. In high school, the girls, not the boys, just the girls, were provided a self-defense class. At the time, I thought that was awesome, to have the opportunity to learn and defend myself from a physical attack. Now, I see it wasn't awesome. It's awful. I live in a world where the administration feels it's necessary for young girls to receive combative training because there is a high chance that they at some point in their lives will be attacked, victimized, assaulted, or even murdered. Now I feel like the self-defense class was a way for society to say to us young girls, hey, look, we're doing something for you. Got your back. But the fact is, the problem of sexual assault and rape is being addressed at too late of a stage. We need to find the source of sexual assault and confront it head on before a physical attack ensues. We need to start recognizing exactly what sexual assault and rape looks like, and it has many faces, many faces. As a society, we need to identify rape and sexual inequality. We need to look it in the eye, call it by its name, accept no excuses for the truly horrendous act, and we need to obliterate it. In order to properly identify and understand why and how sexual assault happens, we need to hear from victims. We need to hear your voices. We need to get uncomfortable. We need to literally walk the world through all the pains and indignities we are still living. Nothing will ever change if we don't. I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired. A phrase that has resonated with me through the Black Lives movement. As I said, I've been following the news across North America. So much has happened. So many tragedies. So much inhumanity. whether it was the neglect and abuse of our elders in nursing homes or due to issues around race and police brutality. I want to refer to something the governor of New York discussed in one of his daily briefings. He pointed out that the disease known as COVID-19 or coronavirus hit us hard on a global scale. It made us change drastically as a global society to preserve life. We changed. We did it for the betterment of humanity. And now we are extending our reach to preserve life and to bring equality to people of color. I'm down. Let's do it. But as you extend that helping hand their way, I want you to take your other hand and extend it to me and to my mother and to my sister and to my daughters. We need to change as individuals and as a society to end sexual equality. And the spectrum really ranges here from one end being workplace inequality, perceived gender roles, but then all the way over again to sexual assault, abuse, rape, murder. Across the board and around the world, hate crimes are being committed against women. We need to work towards a world where women are no longer looked upon as a symbol of sex, obedience, complacency, or silence. I cannot accept that I live in a world where as my daughters grow, I will have to teach them to be vigilant towards predators and teach them how to defend themselves against such horrendous inequalities apparent in the lives of women. I cannot accept that as my son grows, I'm going to have to teach him about the abuse of women, but also simultaneously try to deflect the societal norms surrounding and endorsing the mistreatment of women, the mistreatment of his sisters. My reality is fear that my daughters will become victims, and in turn fear that my son could become a villain. So please, I've broken the ice on the subject now. Let's start the conversation. Let's start the fight to end sexual inequality on a global basis. There is a momentum to change being felt across North America and the world. Let's use it. We can do so much better. Women matter. Now, as I said, I've broken the ice, but we need to hear the voices of the victims. We need your stories. We do. I'm going to provide a follow-up video or videos sharing the specifics of my story to set an example. I'm going to put myself out there in hopes that it will inspire some change. I'm going to provide an email for anyone who needs a shoulder or an ear or a hand. For people who have been pushed down so deeply that they can't break the silence for themselves. This will be a safe place with no judgment, just to speak up and be heard and have some sort of sense of closure. So to everybody watching, I really appreciate the views, but we need to get this message out there. We need to stop this now. We need to work towards a world where inequality it doesn't exist. We have to. It's a trying task, but we have no choice. It's for our kids. It's for our future. So again, thank you, and you'll be seeing me. Thanks.